Are we officially started?
Yeah, I think we are.
Hello, welcome to the Mixing Music Podcast. No, just kidding.
You ready? This is why I transform and I go into like a diva mode.
I'll do that too.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the motherfucking best show in the whole wide world. The Maikon Show. It's lit. It's crazy. We here with the legend. Yes. An anime legend.
I'll take that.
The myth, the legend, Deekei Waddell.
Yeah!
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being so nice to us.
I actually want to be reintroduced as Daddy D.
Oh, yeah? Okay. How you been, D? How's life treating you?
Dude, life's been good. Family is happy. Wife is happy. Kids are very happy. They're cute. I get to cuddle with them every night. I love my youngest. He's got Down syndrome, so he's disabled. Do you know what the best thing about having a disabled child is?
What is it?
I'm allowed to have a fucking favorite. And he is my fucking favorite.
Oh, shit. Kaname's like, God.
No, like, he should be Kaname's favorite,
That
too.
is true.
Like,
That's a fact. That's a
one
fact.
time, I was evil and maniacal, and I asked him, do you like mommy or daddy more? And he sat there for like 10 seconds. He's like, Kyokun! And said, like, the younger brother. I was like, he's fulfilling his role.
It's crazy, bro, because when you had your kid, I could connect a lot with that because my girlfriend's little brother is Down syndrome. And I changed so much.
Dude, they're the best, huh?
Bro, it's insane. I really have gone through like a transformation of myself just because seeing him live, seeing him experience things, I'm just like, man, what am I doing sometimes? I don't even take things serious because they're just living in the moment, doing whatever they want.
It's funny because at first I felt bad for myself and people felt bad for me. They're like, oh, I'm sorry. And then they're always like, God only gives these kind of children to special people. And I'm like, bro, low key, if you could voluntarily choose to have a Down syndrome child, I highly recommend it to everyone because that baby is so easy. He's so kind. He's so loving. He's just a cuddle buddy.
It's crazy how they will laugh the loudest you've ever seen and they will be as mad as you've never seen. They'll just really experience their emotions. You know, like us as quote unquote normal people, sometimes we stop from laughing too hard because we feel weird or we stop from being so sad. And sometimes you need to experience it to the fullest and that's what they show you.
You know how much money people pay to go on, as we learned from your previous episodes, like ayahuasca trips or like to take shrooms and like try to have like a spiritual experience?
Yeah.
Like imagine being born without the ability to have an ego.
Yes.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that shit is crazy.
Yes,
and that's what my son is. Wisdom and intelligence are not correlated at all. And my son may not be able to become full intelligent, pass all the tests that every other normal kid can, but he's going to be much wiser. Like, I'm going to be coming up to him. I'm like, yo, what should I do to change my life? And he's like, DK, you're too fat, and you need to play more basketball, and you need to love your wife a little bit more. And, like, I'll be like, I agree.
They tell me the stories. I came in after he was, you know, in and out of hospitals. And it was tough. Life, it's a scary thing.
Our little Kyo, he wasn't able to leave the hospital for like 7 months. And that's when I moved to LA a couple months before he was born. I missed his birth. I was doing the whole weekend thing. I was going back and forth between LA and Utah.
Crazy,
like every weekend I'd fly back to Utah. It was so crazy. But you know, we got stronger from it. You know what we did is we made children's books. We made kids books because of that.
Bro.
Yeah.
Are you guys thinking of making the NFT soon?
I sold an NFT, created and sold an NFT through DistroKid. One of them was for the children's book.
And you can get that children's book at
DKandKayako.com. We just finished our third book. It's about potty training and it's freaking adorable. It's also for free. The digital versions and the music, the songs, everything is available for free. But if you want to buy the songs voluntarily, optionally, right? If you want to buy the songs to support the project or buy the physical copy of the book on Amazon, I think on Amazon the book is $10 and the music is $1 per song plus tips, whatever, because it's all available for free. So like when we sell it, it's mostly thank you for support. It's an optional thing.
Well, go get yours right now. If you don't get it, then we won't fuck with you.
And I'm not going to lie to you. So each of the books, the story is the lyrics to a song. I wrote a song for each book. So you can actually like sing along to your own kids. I have like karaoke versions so you can like sing to your own children. They can just listen to it. This third one, it's about body training called Keep Them Dry. Talking about keeping your pants dry. Shit's lit. It's so good. It is so good.
Does this help your relationship?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Because she does all the illustrations.
Yeah, she's
she
good,
does all the art.
So it's kind of like the Cat in the Hat if they had music on, right?
Yeah, except like kind of Asian and like not fantasy.
Where were you born, D?
Okinawa, Japan. I'm from Okinawa, Japan.
Japan. Do you remember anything from there?
Oh yeah. So I lived there till I was like 4. And then I went back for summer school like every summer until like middle school. Like, I grew up speaking fluent Japanese. I still speak fluent Japanese. And my wife is Japanese, and technically my children are more Asian than I am. In Japanese, it's like such a cultural language. There's no correlation culturally from English to Japanese, right?
Yeah.
So I have a few friends that speak more Japanese than I do, and in some cases more than my wife, but they still can't tell when they're being made fun of or when Japanese people are using sarcasm. They don't understand like the culture, the nuance in the language, which is really hilarious. There's so much culture in the Japanese language. There's at least 20 to 30 ways plus to say me or I to self-express. And how you say, which word you use to say it, how you see yourself, and how you get others to see you too. That's not something that translates. The way Goku speaks in Japanese,
it's totally off.
Like you can tell that he's like this monkey that's like naive and like grew up in the woods and like didn't have parents, and nobody taught him proper Japanese because he grew up in the woods with monkeys like that. You can tell that without even knowing his backstory.
That's dope.
Like that's how culturally deep.
But we don't.
Oh yeah, that doesn't translate.
That.
Yeah,
wow,
you don't translate
that's
that.
Pretty
so
dope.
that's why he's like such a lovable character because he's like the most naive person ever. So he'll go up to the King of the Universe, right, in the new Dragon Ball series, and like he'll talk to him like he's another like kindergarten school kid, and that's why all the other characters are like, no, don't talk to him, don't talk to him.
Yes, I get it. Cause a lot of part of my thing, cause I used to be, don't fucking judge me, but ghetto people like me, I'm still ghetto as shit. We talk to people like normal ghetto people. You know what I'm saying? So it's funny as shit that you say that.
It's kind of like that. Yeah. It's like trying to get your college diploma, but you're just speaking super ghetto shit.
Like, hey, what's up, G? Hey,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
give me my diploma, G.
Came to Chicago. You lived your life there.
Yeah, and then I did high school in Virginia. There is a funny story. One time before we lived in Washington D.C., my dad hold on, Elmo needs some support.
Stop playing, G.
There was a time where my dad worked for United, so we would do like layaways.
Oh,
or,
really?
like, it's kind of risky. Like only if they had an open spot, we would get there. And we were supposed to fly from Chicago, I think, to Utah or like Florida or some vacation thing. And we flew into Washington D.C. as a layover because that had the best chance of getting another spot to where we were supposed to get to. We get to Washington D.C., eat breakfast at the McDonald's inside the airport, and then find out all the tickets are booked, all the seats are booked. So we just fly back home. We flew to Washington, D.C. just to get McDonald's breakfast and then flew back home. That's a real story.
When did you come to Utah?
This is when like my life gets all in shambles.
Okay.
And it's really confusing. After high school, I graduated. I did the 2-year Mormon mission thing. I went to Nagoya, Japan, where I lived in Japan for 2 years. While I was there, my parents moved from Virginia to Houston, Texas. When I came back, I stayed in Texas for like a week and then immediately went to Hawaii, where I went to school in Hawaii.
Damn.
So BYU, Hawaii. That's where I met my wife. That's where, I started college. And then after a year of being in Laie, Hawaii, in North Shore, I said to my wife, I was like, yo, we got to get married or I'm moving and we should break this off. Because I discovered I was going to Utah after a semester. So at the end of the semester, I like kind of gave her an ultimatum. They didn't have a commercial music program or some sort of like studio music production. And I knew I wanted to do music production. Basically, I told her, I was like, hey, I love you enough to let you go. I'm going to let you decide. We've only been dating 3 months. We either take this seriously or we should just break it off because this isn't going to work. And
I love the honesty, bro. A lot of people should do that. It should be like, hey, this is what's going on. Take it or leave it.
This is one time I'm gonna like gloat and like and say that like I was a very big gentleman in this moment, and my wife still like thanks me for that because I made a very her decision. I said I love you enough to let you go. I would love to take you to Utah, but I'm not gonna force you to do anything. I want to be serious about this, and she was as well, and she somehow said yes, even though I told her 3 separate times not to marry me because I'm gonna be a musician.
Oh shit!
And I was like, you're not gonna want to do this. I'm gonna have loud friends. I'm not gonna come home at night. I'm gonna go on tour, different things. And she's like, you know what? I'll still do it. So somehow I like, brainwashed her into thinking I was cool. And she decided to move out to Utah with me. We got married in Tokyo, Japan. So we flew from Hawaii to Japan, get married in Japan. After that, we flew to Houston. No, actually, I did summer sales for Vivint. So we lived in like Atlanta for like a month and Alabama for a month and like those like southern states. It was really weird. And I like met like not my first ever, but like my most sincere racist encounters ever while going door to door there, which is crazy because I'm not even Hispanic, but I look more Hispanic than most Hispanics do.
Yeah.
And so like, I'm not Hispanic at all, but I've been called spick so many times that it's just like, it like pisses me off so much. Like that's a real thing. That was like the first time that I've ever been like threatened for my life. He's like, hey, go back to the factory where you belong, spick. And I was like, what the? Bro, I'm Japanese. like
at least be racist in my own kind.
Yeah, like I built that factory, dude. So I have this like really interesting tie and feel for like Hispanic culture because every time that there's like Hispanic like hate, I have a real big tie to it because
you've been through it.
I've been through it. And it's really interesting. Like, just funny because I'm not Hispanic at all.
Yeah.
I took French in high school. Like the biggest mistake of my life. Why did I take French?
So you got to Utah right after Hawaii.
Houston.
Oh,
And then did the
okay,
summer sales thing. And then we lived with my parents in Houston for like 6 months after that, waiting for winter semester. And it was like 4 to 6, I don't really remember. A little bit less than half a year because we were waiting for winter semester after summer sales. I didn't save any money because I spent it all on studio equipment because I was working at Guitar Center, had a big discount. Went to Utah, started school. And then after being in Utah, like started a studio pretty quickly.
But why'd you go to Utah for?
For BYU, for school.
Oh, okay.
Because
okay,
I'd already
yeah,
been
yeah,
accepted
okay,
to
okay.
BYU. And I wanted to do commercial music, which was like the studio and like music production side of
Yeah.
music. I didn't want to do like band or orchestra or
Strictly
teaching.
production.
I wanted to do music production.
Okay.
Because I knew that that's what I wanted to do. I knew that ever since like 20 years old.
You were in a band, right?
I was in a band. I started a funk band.
You guys were lit.
Thank
I went
you.
to one of your shows. Fuck, legend.
Yeah.
Crazy. I remember like he had everybody sit down and he would just like start like preaching to everybody. I was like, God.
I did
that's
have
crazy.
good like audience control.
You did, bro.
I was really fucking good.
You were fucking good.
I know. Maybe not the best music, but I was a damn good
you were-
performer.
I was like shocked when I first saw that because I knew you as an engineer first. I was like, what? And it was kind of like a boom. Then I learned a lot of things about you. Like you were a professional longboard rider.
Yeah. So my senior year of high school, I was a professional longboard.
That's crazy, bro. What the
Longboarder.
fuck?
Yeah. I totally forgot about this until I like brought it up with my wife a few months ago. I actually had found sponsors and was planning on filming and creating content about me skating from Washington, D.C. to California. So going a cross-country trip on longboards. And I had found sponsors in everything. This is in 2014. But then I got married. So I like totally just dropped it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
That was like
thought
a fun
you
thing
just
that I
stopped.
never did. And maybe someday I'll do it. But
Yeah.
right now, honestly speaking, I can't even imagine leaving my children for 3 months. So when did I come into your life?
I met you once, but you don't remember this.
I started Cold House Studio, which is my first commercial studio in Provo, Utah, 2016. When did we meet? And to be fair, I know that you've told me this story a little bit before, and I know that I don't remember the first time we met. Because you were with Tama.
Yeah, I was with Tama. Shout out to David Rhythm.
David
Sweets
Rhythm
Grill.
and Sweets Hawaiian Grill.
Fuck, bro. Amazing Hawaiian food if you guys pull up, you know. He even opened up the restaurant after hours for me to take my girl and everything. Fucking amazing, bro. She was so happy for that. Shout out to you, bro, for that. We were very close. I would go to Vegas with him and like record videos for him and vlog, you know? And I came back and we kind of stopped doing that. He was like, yo, there's a really dope engineer right next to our place. And I was like, oh shit, for real? He's like, you want to go meet him? And I was like, hell yeah, let's go. And I go in there, I'm like, yo, this is a studio. Because I'd never been in a nice studio.
Yeah, I mean, you're in Utah. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And you had a nice studio. You would just say, hey, what's up, Tom? I was like, you just kind of say, what's up, bro? And it was just like, oh, this is cool. Never in a million years I was like, oh, we're going to start this crazy adventure.
Tell us about our crazy adventure. Because
So wait,
we've had many.
So you started the Cold House, then I met you, and I met you again. How did we meet again?
The story is I started hip hop open mic nights in Utah because there was an artist that I worked with who got kicked out of open mic night from Velour because he was doing hip hop. It was clean hip hop. There wasn't any swearing. It's Provo, Utah. They were just super against that sort of stuff. The sound guy stood up behind the console, stopped the music, and yelled at him, "Get out now!" And I heard about this story, and they took video of it. And I saw it. I got so pissed off that I created hip hop open mic nights, which was uncensored, all genres welcome, but it was like focused around hip hop. And that's when I met Maikon, and like we actually kind of started this movement. Like everybody in Provo thought that they were the only rappers in Provo, but then everybody's like, oh shit, there's actually a lot of really great artists out here.
I was kind of done. I was done, you know. I was like, I don't want music. I had a big run before that in Salt Lake City. I even did a tattoo of Rolling Stone. I had a really dope song. It was called Rolling Stone. Everybody's fucking with it, and I guess I was too insecure to put a music video out. I was kind of down on myself. A lot of things happened. I got in trouble with the law. A lot of stuff, bad things happened. Moved out to a way overly priced apartment that I was paying way too much for it and acting like I had a lot of money when it's like, yo, you're barely going by. I was just down on myself. I was very down. No more music. And Coco hits me up. And he's like, hey, there's this open mic night. You should come through. And I was like, okay. But I never went. I was kind of like, I felt too good for everybody. But that was my insecurity. I was like, open mic? What the fuck? What am I going to go there for? I'm better than this, right? One time I was just sitting down and I was like, who the fuck do I think I am? Like, fuck that shit, right? Destroyed my ego and I pulled up and I'm there and I was so fucking nervous, bro. I was so nervous because, Even though I've been in front of stadiums and everything and I'm playing soccer, you're always going to have that. You know, I've gotten better because of this show, but you're always going to have that like nervousness because it's something new, it's something fun, exciting. I get there and I see you there. It's just like, hey, what's up, guys? And like your energy was always like so outgoing, right? Bro, I remember when they were passing the mic, right? Like to see who's going to go next. I was like about to pass out because I was so fucking nervous, bro. Like perception is weird because we never understand what somebody's going through until they tell you, right? I was going next, but something happened and the guy kept talking. I was like, oh shit. You know what I mean? Like I was about to pass out. But then I go on. And you're like, hey, what's your name? You know, and I'm like, oh, Maikon. And I play Bestie.
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember. Because you're like, this is a song about my gun. And I was like, bro, we are in Provo, Utah.
Yeah. Played it. It was my first time playing it for a lot of people. I got a really good feedback. And I see like, oh, it's pretty cool, right? So I was just like, oh, shit. Like, he likes it. He's a fucking professional. You had your own studio. That was crazy, bro. And probably who has their own studio? Plus, you're someone who's helping people. And that's admirable. No matter what you do, if you're helping people just look up to you for that. Then I met Nels. And Nels was like, I don't know, he was just a weird guy who I fucking love that guy now, right? But he was very weird. And shout out to him. After that, we started a comedian music group, right? And we started in the worst time of time.
We started right at the beginning of COVID.
Right at it, because 2019 we met, October or something. We talked about doing certain things. November 2019, that's when we kind of came up with this, hey, this is what we're gonna do. 2020 started. And bro, was that fucking insane.
COVID started, but I think it was kind of good because we didn't have to worry about live shows.
Yes, that's very true.
So it's like we only had to worry about releasing music. And that's when like you started releasing once a week. It ended up going really well. I got really overwhelmed after a while. Kind of became like this label thing. By the end of 1 year, with you alone, we released like 65 songs. And I think with the entire group, we had released over 350 songs. It was wild. We made a lot of mistakes. We learned a lot from that. That whole exodus period of my life of like a year was crazy. That shit was wild. Lots of bad things happen, some legal stuff that is not over yet. Bad roommates happen and studio things happen and people scammed us. People are really awesome in LA, but there's also some really sketchy people that are not from LA. I want to be clear. They're not from LA. They come in, try to get rich quick and like screw over everybody they can to do it. And then they realize that's not how you do it. Yeah. Just had a lot of crazy learning experiences. Obviously with the wife and having to fly back home every weekend. It was quite wild. Like there was a solid period of, was it 2 to 3 months after I had gotten out of the horrible roommate situation?
Yeah, fucking crazy, bro.
There's like a solid 2 to 3 months that I think it's been long enough that I can say it, but I was secretly homeless for like 2 to 3 months. Yeah. And granted, it was only 5 days of the week, so I would like sleep in the studio. There's a shower in the studio or in my car, wherever I could. So it was like I was set up. I was good.
You're going through so much though,
bro.
But
and then I was paying for the apartment in Utah. I also like some bad shit happened with my family, so like I cut my parents off completely.
Yeah, I remember that, bro.
Mostly because my father and a little bit of my mother, but mostly my father being extremely abusive to my wife. You make my wife cry more than a few times, like you're getting cut out. Like
that's your family now.
Yeah, like I don't give a shit like how righteous you think you are. You make my wife upset, we're done. After Kyo got cleared, 2 months after he got cleared and came home, 2 months we were in LA as a family, and now we live a block away from the studio, so we just like walk to the studio whenever we want. I mean, this is my home office, so I do a lot of work from here. But that was a really, really crazy time in my life. I did a lot of self-searching because I was without my family. I did shrooms for the first time while I was here, which is a crazy experience. I highly recommend that to a certain degree. Did DMT. I still got into drums.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, not like any party drugs, but like learning self-insight drugs. Learned a lot about myself and a lot about like my religion, my faith. As you know, like I'm a very religious person, like a faith-based person, like kind of figuring out where I stood with all that. And just in general, just trying to figure my shit out by myself. I got married when I was really young and I've always had like a companion or friends or whatever, my parents, my family. So like this is the first time that I'm genuinely by myself as basically a single man with nobody to go home to, with nobody to like hang out with and just do nothing but work. I went crazy. And when I'm without my wife and kids, if I don't have a reason to come home, I'm a workaholic. So there's 168 hours in a week. So 24 times 7, I think it's 168. I worked about 160 hours 1 week. And that was the week that you came to visit. Remember that?
Oh, fuck.
And you were like, DK, you do not sleep. I stayed up for like 3 nights that I pulled all-nighters while you were here.
Crazy,
and like the couple of the nights we slept, I was like, it was like 2 hours.
Yeah.
I got into this really bad thing where like I just need to get shit done. And it took me a solid like 6 months plus to emotionally recover from the damage of that 1 week.
Yeah, that shit was crazy, bro.
Yeah, I went into like spiraling into a Great Depression after that. Do not recommend doing that. In 2020, I mixed 1,019 songs in a year.
That was fucking insane.
So 300 is like a lot for a mixer. I did 3 times the person that does a lot. Yeah. That entire entire year of 2020 was like hustle and grind. And like, honestly, I'm still recovering from 2020. Like, it's a cool thing. Like, on paper, I hit my goals and like did this really cool thing. But like, that was when I learned, bro, take this slow. It's going to take time, but it's better to like get there and appreciate what you have. Cause I almost quit music after that year.
Bro.
I like almost quit entirely and almost changed my personality. Like, I've never wanted to work for anybody, but after that year, it's like, bro, I'm okay being paid less and working for somebody else just so I can not work. Basically, so I can not worry about it. It was a total personality change because of it.
Personally, really want to thank you, bro.
What did I do? Dude, I need to thank you.
Listen. That year, I've never worked that much in my life. We fed off each other. I was like, fuck, this guy's going crazy. I would go crazy too. In reality, in AMG, maybe it was just me and you that were doing the most. You know what I'm saying? That's reality. I've talked to everybody knows that. It was very tough. It was weird because it was like a drug. A couple of songs, 10 weeks, and nothing was happening. 15 weeks, nothing was happening. And all of a sudden, I took it personal. Because that's what happens. You keep doing it, you take it personal, and it becomes a challenge. And you're like, okay, fuck everybody. I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to fucking make it happen. And that's when I would do everything. I would do anything. I started spending a bunch of money and really like bro, I almost done went broke just doing it every week, putting a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? I would work till 7 p.m., go back home. From 8 to like 3 in the morning, I would go hard, would sleep for 3 hours, come back. That was like every week, you know? And June or July, that's when it really started popping, when I did Joseph Smith.
I'm trying to remember your lyrics. Joseph Smith.
Bitch, I'm like Joseph Smith. Me and my squad, I'm gonna take your bitch.
As like a content like marketer person, that sort of controversy is like perfect.
And that was a trigger because I knew that people know that Joseph Smith, if he wanted to, he would take your bitch. That's how it goes. Like there's no saying no.
No comment. I mean, it's quite easy to Google.
I make that song, it starts blowing up, and then good things started happening.
It was at the year mark. You all of a sudden, like all of your work was started. Bro, you're harvesting.
A lot of people have done once a week, but they don't understand how much you have to sacrifice. I've fought with my girl the most I've ever fought in that year. I spent more money than I ever spent. I just was doing too much. And then the whole opportunity came with that label. That was the most amazing time because I was like, oh, we're going to get out. We're going to fucking kill it. Like, we're going to get signed. Like, I'm so excited. But at the end, it ended up biting me in the butt, you know, because it was...
I don't remember that story. I remember that starting and like we talked once, but I don't know how it ended.
That's when we both started going through like, holy shit, our own problem. You started going through so much, bro, with the whole roommate stuff and me with like music and my girl.
There's a part of me that feels bad. I hate to say this, and I'm not AMG. Like, it was all of us.
Yeah.
But when I left, things went to shit. It was this weird thing where after that, like, people thought that I didn't believe in them anymore, and there was just like miscommunications, and people got insecure, and we didn't have our meetings anymore, and went apart. I mean, I think it was good. It was all for the better, because the ones that are serious, like Caden came out, you know, Nels came out, and like the ones that were serious kind of proved themselves even more. And then now we're doing Outdonesia, which is an AMG again,
super
but like
dope.
It's an Asian thing, all Asian thing. Can I read you a quote? Can we end with this quote? One of my favorite quotes of all time. Okay, here it is. This is from C.S. Lewis, the writer. There are always plenty of rivals to our work. We are always falling in love or quarreling, looking for jobs or fearing to lose them, getting ill and recovering, following public affairs, or we can exchange that with following politics. Mm-hmm. If we let ourselves, we shall always be waiting for some distraction or other to end before we can really get down to our work.
Wow.
The only people who achieve much are those who want knowledge so badly that they seek it while the conditions are still unfavorable. Favorable conditions never come. It is never the right time to start a business. It is never the right time to have a baby. It is never the right time to try to make music full time. It is never the right time, ever. And it never will be. But you just got to freaking want it so bad that you just don't even care. That's how people get success. I really feel this way. And this is personal as well as from observation. Like, everybody's hurting. Right now, bro, the last couple of years, I feel like I've had more than that, maybe longer than that. I feel like I've really had a struggle, had a hard time letting myself be happy. I had like a really shitty father, and I'm not blaming him because it's a lot of self-inflicted stuff too, but he had a major part in a complex that I have where I have a hard time letting myself be happy. Every time that I'm holding hands with my son down the street and I'm so happy, immediately the first thing in my head is, I'm too happy, what's going to happen? I'm too happy, something's wrong's going to happen. I'm expecting things to be bad. I'm trying to overcome, and I'm healing, and I think that it's a never-ending healing. I'm trying to find my form of nirvana, my form of content with change and non-permanence. I'm really trying to figure this shit out. And I really believe that I haven't figured this out, but I know that if my goal is to be happy, if I'm focused on that and I don't want anything else, I just want to be happy, I have a gut feeling that I will be. I'm getting there.
One day we're gonna die. People are gonna look back at this episode and they'll be like, damn, like those people were alive. Somehow we're able to capture life. That's insane. I wish I could have seen Da Vinci, like a video of him talking about life. Him going fucking crazy at 3 a.m. and like painting and doing this shit and be like, fuck this shit. This is bullshit, you know? It's crazy to me that we can't see those people rant. Beethoven, imagine Beethoven. Fuck, I can't hear shit and I just gotta fucking just, how the fuck do I make this happen? But he made it happen somehow.
Bro went deaf and still made better music than most people ever
I
will.
wish I could have seen that. We just hear this legendary myth, but we don't see that human.
And the 40 years of practice that goes into it. 18-year-old boy is comparing himself to 60-year-old professional.
And that's why I love the Kanye West thing. That shit, wow, bro. Seeing him being a fucking human, being rejected after he was successful. He's going through the exact same thing that I'm going through sometimes. I'm like, hey, babe, look at this song that I made. And she's like, on her phone. I'm like, fuck, this means so much to me. He went through the exact same thing as me. And he was successful already. You can see that in his
He's doing
eyes.
it for more than the fame.
Literally, he's hurting and you can connect so much to that.
Absolutely.
Beautiful, bro. With that being said, D, it's been a fucking great time, bro. Thank you, bro.
Of course.
Thank you, really, for
Thank
everything.
you.
And I'm going to keep fucking looking up to you because you're somebody that I admire, bro.
Thank you. And to you, too. Like you said, if you weren't working hard, I wouldn't have worked hard either. So you were a catalyst in my life, for sure.
And you were a catalyst in my life. Love you, man.
Hey, I love you too, Maikon. Thank you so much for your time. Thanks so much for coming over. We're all learning. None of us know what we're doing. No parents know what they're doing. No child knows what they're doing. Nobody knows what they're doing. And if you accept that, maybe we can get to some agreement that, you know what, we're figuring this shit out together. Fuck egos, make hit records.
As humans, our society, we're just living. We have no idea what we're doing. Secretly, we're just waiting for that day when we die. And between, we're doing things.
I'm not suicidal. I have been in the past. I'm
I feel
not
like
suicidal,
we all been low key.
especially as a creative, right? But I'm like so not afraid of death. It's kind of alarming. Hopefully, I get enough time to realize, like, okay, I can put my children and my wife in a better place, and like I would help her find another husband. I'm so unafraid of death. Like that is not a good thing. I should be afraid of death more.
I feel like that's a realization, though. Like understanding, bro. This is it. I'm gonna die, and you're just gonna remember Maikon. You're gonna die, and I'm gonna just remember the funny times we had. That's all we're gonna remember. It's just memories.
If I could pick how I die, I hope I die from asphyxiation from laughing too hard or some shit like that. Or I die like eating my favorite thing in the world.
Oh,
or like I die.
Or just like getting a heart attack while having like the craziest sex.
Or doing like the fun. What the?
Some shit like
or
that.
Like,
that'd be dope as fuck.
Die in a way that like, I don't know. Some epic way.
But we're going to die. It's going to be lit. Let's get it. You know, that's how life goes. And with that being said, love you, dog. Thank you so much for being here. An amazing fucking, the myth, the legend, the fucking GOAT. Let's get it. Go to sleep early. Be a good person. You know what I'm saying? Love yourself. Love y'all. Peace out.
Peace.
Oh, wait, what the fuck? No. Skirt. Wait. Where can people find you? What the fuck?
You can find me with your mom.
Motherfucker.